to learn to fly a drone for the past 20 minutes and now I got stuck in a tree. I'm gonna go and try and get it out. Drone is still in the tree. I've tried throwing rocks at it. I don't really want to break it, so I'm probably going to have to leave it there. I've got a cobweb duster and I've got a broom, so I'm going to try and knock it out of the tree. Alright, we can start talking about some hands. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have noticed that I post quite a few hands on my story, and I do that because I've probably got 2 or 3 friends in person who I can talk to about hands, and that's really not enough for me. When I'm analysing a hand, I like to get opinions from as many people as possible. Instagram's been really beneficial to me in the ways that it's enabled me to connect with people who have had so many great results both live and online, and a lot of these people are more than happy to contribute to my hands. So big thank you to the people that have contributed recently. So this first hand I want to discuss comes from a tournament I played about 2 weeks ago. It was a 2-day event, $90 buy-in, and it had a $10,000 guaranteed prize pool. This hand happened 10 minutes before bagging up for day 2. I had a pretty healthy chip stack, 210,000 in front of me at the 2.5k blind level. We weren't playing any antes and we were second in chips on our table. So we're on the button and we look down at pocket queens. The big blind was away from the table at the beginning of the hand, so his cards were just dealt into the muck. The chip leader, who's under the gun +2, decides to open for 17k. And from what I've seen, he's been using his 3-to-1 chip lead really well. He's been putting a lot of pressure on the smaller stacks leading up to the end of day 1. Doing pretty much exactly what you should be doing with a big stack. So, he's opening for more than 3x, and I just immediately thought that, he's probably just trying to buy all the dead money in the pot because the big blind's away from the table. And it just so happens that I actually woke up with a hand on the button. So I look down at 2 queens and I decide to make it 50,000. So it's folded back around to him and he just flats. Flop comes down, ace 3-4, all clubs. He checks it over to me and I decide to check it back. On the turn we hit a queen. So the queen of diamonds. He checks again and I decide to go with a really small sizing of 35,000, and I did this because I thought it would look weak. I knew he'd been putting pressure on people and I thought that by betting that small he'd pop it up, and he did exactly what I thought he'd do. He reached for a big pile of $25,000 chips and he put me all in. I didn't really think about it because that was my plan. My plan went perfectly. I snap called and I thought that I'd be good for a minute because he kind of screwed up his face and he said, "Oh, I guess you got it then." And I said, "No, I've just got a set," and that's when I knew I was beat because his face lit up and he's like, "Oh, I have a set too." And he rolled over pocket aces for top set. So unfortunately I didn't hit another queen on the river, so we ended up busting from this tournament 10 minutes before bagging with what was a really healthy chip stack. So I actually posted a poll on Instagram for this one, and clearly the general consensus was to call. 46 people replied, and of the 46, only 12 said they would fold, and that was without all of the background information. A couple of people said that they would have put him on air with maybe a high club. Some said I should have folded because I didn't have the queen of clubs in my hand and I was so close to getting to day 2 with a really healthy chip stack. So if I folded in that spot, I think I've got like around 20 big blinds left. I think when he just checks it over twice though and flats my re-raise pre-flop, I'm not really getting away once I hit my queen there. It's just really unfortunate that the queen of clubs didn't come out, because I probably would have gotten away from it if it was the queen of clubs with 4 clubs being out there. But yeah, we busted 10 minutes before bagging off day 2, which was a little bit sad. Next week I'm going to be releasing a vlog where I interview someone who's accompanied me on my poker journey. So thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next week.